India, a land of beautiful landscapes. Monuments. And ancient culture. But it also has a world of crime. And prisons. A society can get better if its criminals are reformed. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Hate the crime, but not the criminal." The Indian ethos has two stories of reformation. Angulimala, who was reformed by Gautama Buddha, and the sage Valmiki, who was reformed by the sage Narada. He went on to write the Ramayana. Christianity has Jesus on the cross pardoning sins of a repentant sinner. In the parable of the lost sheep, Jesus says, "There will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents." Prison Ministry India is seeking of the lost and going a step further with their principle of release, reform, and rehabilitate.
This is St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, Vadavagur, Kottayam in Kerala.
In 1981, two seminarians, Father Verghese Keriperi and Father Francis Codian, struck a friendship while attending calls at the phone booth in the seminary.
During free time, we were discussing class subjects, and those days we were having classes on science, atomic science, atom bomb, hydrogen bomb, neutron bomb. So our talk was on atom bomb. Then my friend Brother Verghese told me that at this age what we need is not A bomb, H bomb or N bomb, but what we need is L bomb, that is love bomb. When I heard that, I was taken up, and I immediately replied telling that if so, the first love bomb explosion took place in Calvary, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And then I shook Brother Verghese's hand and said, we work together to become love bombs, not to kill but to heal the broken hearts. And our first decision was to pray before the Blessed Sacrament. We too used to go to the Malangara chapel and pray before the Blessed Sacrament. And after many months of prayer before the Blessed Sacrament, we were commanded or asked by the Blessed Sacrament, Eucharistic Jesus, to go out and see the same face among the poorest of the poor. And one day we were going back to the bus stand, and casually we noticed a board, Kottayam Sub-Jail. So out of curiosity, we wanted to visit the sub-jail. Then when we asked permission, they asked to write an application. We wrote an application, and immediately the superintendent said, "You are not allowed. Application denied. No permission." And while we were going back to seminary on the same road, I noticed a board called Prison Fellowship. Then I said to my friend Brother Verghese, this may be something connected to prison ministry. It was the international organization called Prison Fellowship International, founded by the American Senator Chuck Colson, and they were very happy to welcome us, Catholic brothers, and we expressed our desire that we want to visit the prison. They said no problem, they will take us, and together with the Prison Fellowship volunteers, we visited the prison for the first time. And when we attended that meeting with the prisoners, that touched us very much, because Prison Fellowship volunteers were one Shivadasan, who was once a train robber, reformed, and is preaching to the prisoners now. The other one was Mr. Unnikrishnan of have a long history of pickpocketing. And he is also reformed and now doing prison ministry, preaching to the prisoners while once upon a time he was in the prison with these prisoners. So it touched the prisoners, and many shed tears that touched us. And after that visit, we went to the Father Rector and informed this experience, and asked Father Rector that we Catholics also should have this kind of ministry. And Father Rector encouraged us, and we convened a sharing of these people in the seminary.
The seminarians started a prayer group and then decided to take a pilgrimage through all the prisons of Kerala, about 35 prisons.
During the prison pilgrimage also, we had wonderful God experiences, divine providence experiences. All these strengthened us and helped us to do a lot of things for prisoners. So we began Christmas letter writing to prisoners. Then we began art and literary competition for prisoners.
Thus, in Kerala, the Jesus Fraternity was born. Later, this was extended to the national level in August 1994 and came to be called the Prison Ministry India. It opened in many pockets throughout the country, and it had to be structured to work more efficiently and cater to all the jails and its prisoners in India. Near most prisons, there are units of Prison Ministry India. Either a religious sister or a priest will be in charge, and there will be a group of 10 to 20 members in a local unit. In India, every diocese has a representative or director for prison ministry. A state coordinator coordinates all the dioceses of its state and the local units of the state. Each state has a state coordinator and a state secretariat with a secretary, a treasurer, and other executive members. India has 4 regional centers. In the north, Delhi; in the northeast, Guwahati; central, Mumbai; and in the south, Chennai. Each state will coordinate with its regional center. The national office coordinates all the regional centers. The National Secretariat of Prison Ministry India is in Bengaluru. There is a national coordinator, and he is also the secretary for CBCI for Prison Ministry India. The national office has many staff members.
We are from Prison Ministry India.
Greetings to all of you. I am Bishop Alvin De Silva, the Auxiliary Bishop of the Archdiocese of Bombay. At present, I am in charge of the prison ministry in India.
गुजरात तरफ थे तमने सामने जय ईशु. In Gujarat, we started this ministry a few years ago.
I am the state coordinator of Prison Ministry India, Tamil Nadu. We have 18 dioceses in Tamil Nadu. Our Archbishop Most Reverend Dr. George Anton Swami, he is the chairman of Tamil Nadu Prison Ministry.
My name is Walter Kamble. I am from St. Anne's Cathedral, Nasik Road. We started our prison ministry in 1990, December.
I'm Father Manuel from the Diocese of Sindhudurg, the Director of Prison Ministry.
Hi, greetings from PMI Pune family.
I am Father Emmanuel Philip, State Coordinator of Madhya Pradesh.
from Prison Ministry, India.
I'm from Prison Ministry, India.
And I am from Prison Ministry of India.
We are proud to say that we are from Prison Ministry, India.
I am Kanagaraj, DIG Prisons Headquarters, Tamil Nadu. I am looking after the Headquarters Administration in Tamil Nadu Prison Department. Actually, I am very happy for having this opportunity to say something about Prison Ministry of India, the organization working for the welfare of the prisoners and the prisoners' family for the past 25 years.
PMI एक सपोर्टिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यहाँ पे बच्चों के लिए काम करती है। बेसिकली PMI के लोग जो हैं वो डेली बेसिस पे एज अ वॉलंटियर यहाँ पे आके बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं। तो जब ये लोग आते हैं और आपस में बैठ के बच्चों के साथ में बैठ के जब काम होता है तो बच्चों को भी भरोसा होता है कि ओके मैं यहाँ पे अच्छी जगह पे हूँ। तो ये जो भरोसा दिलाने का काम जो है वो लगता है कि मुझे आपके लोगों से होता है और इसके लिए हम आपके बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं। तो थैंक यू।
Saint Maximilian Kolbe, the patron saint of Prison Ministry, India, 1939, World War II. The war would last for 6 years. During the war, Maximilian Kolbe provided shelter to refugees from Greater Poland, including 2,000 Jews whom he hid from Nazi persecution in his friary in Nepokolonov. On February 17, 1941, he was arrested by the German Gestapo and imprisoned in the Paviak prison, and on May 25th was transferred to Auschwitz as prisoner number 16670. In July 1941, a man from Kolbe's barracks vanished, prompting SS Hofsturmführer Karl Frisch, the deputy camp commander, to pick 10 men from the same barracks to be starved to death in Block 13, notorious for torture, in order to deter further escapes. Franciszek Gajowniczek was one of those selected to die. When the Franciscan priest Kolbe heard Gajowniczek cry, "My poor wife, my poor children, what will they do?" Kolbe offered himself instead. "I want to go instead of this man who was selected. He has a wife and family. I am alone. I am a Catholic priest," Kolbe told the commander. The commandant agreed to the switch. In the underground cell, the priest sought to console the condemned men, leading them in prayers and hymns. After 10 days, on August 14th, 1941, he and 3 others remained alive. Then a German doctor came and killed them with injections of carbolic acid. Gajowniczek died on March 13th, 1995, a little over 53 years after having his life spared by Kolbe. He died at the age of 94. Saint Maximilian Kolbe, the patron saint of Prison Ministry, India.
In criminal administration system, prison occupies a very important place. That is, you have the judiciary, then you have the police department investigating crimes. But ultimately, the persons who are on the wrong side of the law are, for their whatever offense they are committed, they are sentenced to prison.
The prisons is a peculiar institution. We bring people from society where positive vibes are there into a place called prison where negative vibes prevail and expect that each one who comes to prison gets corrected. It's not so. When a person comes to jail, he loses his family, he loses touch with his friends, he becomes alone, he loses hope.
सर्वसामान्य लोक ये गजाआड असलेल्या लोकांना अशा दृष्टीने बघतील की आपणही चूक केलेली आहे. फक्त डिफरन्स एवढाच चेंज एवढाच आहे की जे गजाआड आहेत त्यांना पकडले आहे आणि आपल्याला पकडलेले नाही आहे.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम सेलिन मेरी राज है. मैं महात्मा गांधी कुष्ठ आश्रम में काम करती हूँ. मैं 2010 में 306 धारा के केस में जेल में 1 महीने रह चुकी हूँ. मैंने एक बच्ची का सपोर्ट करा था, मैंने और मेरे हस्बैंड ने, क्योंकि वो लड़के ने एक बच्ची का रेप किया था. तो मैं और मेरे हस्बैंड उसको बहुत सपोर्ट करते, हॉस्पिटल ले जाना, और वो दारू गांजे का बिजनेस करते थे. तो वो लोग पुलिस उसको अरेस्ट नहीं कर रही थी. तो हम लोगों ने क्या करा कि तो थाने में धरना देके उस लड़के को अरेस्ट कराया. बट उसने 2-3 साल के बाद उसने सुसाइड कर लिया और ब्लेम हम पे लगा दिया कि ये लोग मुझे बलात्कारी कह के बुलाते थे, इस वजह से मैं आत्महत्या कर रहा हूँ. तो वो जो 306 धारा मेरे और मेरे हस्बैंड पर लग गई थी. तो उस बीच तो बाप रे, ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे हमारे पैरों तले ज़मीन निकल गई हो. पर उस समय मैं प्रेजेंट मिनिस्ट्री की सिस्टर रोस मैथ्यू, FCC सिस्टरों ने बहुत सपोर्ट करा. सो सिस्टर रोस मैथ्यू हमेशा मुझे बोलती थी कि सेलिन तुम ईश्वर पे छोड़ दो. ईश्वर मैं कैसे छोड़ सकती हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे खुद के 2 छोटे बच्चे हैं. मेरी बेटी उस समय 5th में थी, बेटा मेरा 3rd में था. तो मेरे लिए सब चीज़ बहुत मुश्किल था. तो मैंने 14 दिन तो सुसाइड करने की सोची. फिर उसके बाद है ना सिस्टर रोस मैथ्यू और FCC सिस्टर्स, फ्लावर फादर्स, उन काफ़ी लोगों का सपोर्ट रहा है. विशेष रूप से प्रेजेंट मिनिस्ट्री का बहुत सपोर्ट रहा है हम लोगों, मेरे और मेरे हस्बैंड के ऊपर. जो 4 साल केस चला है हम लोगों पे, उन लोगों ने हमको बहुत सपोर्ट किया है. और इसमें सबसे पहले ईश्वर को धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी कि ईश्वर की आशीष और अनुग्रह इतनी रही कि ईश्वर ने अपनी महिमा प्रेजेंट मिनिस्ट्री द्वारा, FCC सिस्टर द्वारा, फादर्स लोग द्वारा हम पर प्रकट की है. तो मैं एक बार फिर से प्रेजेंट मिनिस्ट्री के लिए धन्यवाद दूंगी. और हमारा केस ख़त्म हो चुका है और हम लोग केस जीत चुके हैं.
Sawasdi ka, ชื่อนางสาวศิริรัตน์เจียมทองค่ะ My name is ศิริรัตน์เจียมทอง
สวัสดีค่ะ ดิฉันชื่อนางสาวปุญญิสาสนับช่างค่ะ My name is ปุญญิสาสนับช่างค่ะ
So these are 2 of them from Thailand, Sirirat and Punisa. They came to India on 18th of May 2018, and their friend told them that they are going to get a job in Bhopal and that she would meet them in Bhopal. So they came to Bhopal, but she was not there. And then the girls who were there to welcome them took their baggage and all, and they had language problem. They didn't know how to communicate. And same day, same night, they were arrested. And they were put in the prison from 21st of May, they were in prison, 2018, till 16th of June 2019. Lady police who is in charge of the women's ward, she will approach us and tell us that see they are trying, see that whether you can contact their family members. In the prison rules, foreigners, no phone calls are allowed, no visitors, they had nobody. Language was a problem. Then we asked them who is there, how to communicate. So they wrote their name in English, but the spellings were wrong. But anyhow, from the Facebook, we got through their picture, we got this account. Then we tried to contact the sister, but again language problem. So one sister from Bangalore, who is from Thailand, through her contacted her sister, and her sister came down to Bhopal to meet them. She met them and all. She went back, and we thought case will get over fast. But since there were 14 girls and 10 lawyers, so the case is being delayed. So now we are hoping that God works a miracle. On 22nd October is their date that they should go, especially because Sirirat's father is also not well. And he's in ICU under ventilator. So we are praying for him that nothing should happen to him till they go back. But it is on the whole, it is very difficult for them to. There's nobody to fight for them, nobody to go to the court, nobody to get them bail. That all is very difficult.
I want to say thank you, sister, or sister help. We Thai Punisa Sirirat to I stay Marie Convent. I am really happy, but I want go Thailand. Really happy too much. Really, thank you. want to know, don't know Punisa, Sunilat, but help. Thank you. I can speak a little bit.
Thank you, Prison Ministry.
Sister Rani Maria was brutally murdered on 25th February 1995. She was dragged out of the bus in which she was traveling and her hands chopped before she was stabbed to death.
Blessed Rani Maria is my own sister. She was martyred on 25th February 1995.
51 കുത്തേറ്റ് മരിച്ചു എന്ന് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കി അവസ്ഥ ആലോചിച്ച് ഞങ്ങൾ പെട്ടെന്നാണ് അറിയുന്നത്. അത് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വലിയൊരു ഷോക്കായിരുന്നു.
When I heard the death of my sister, it shocked me very badly. My heart was filled with sorrow and bitterness. But when I touched the mortal body of my sister, I remember her words. That is, I am ready to die for the poor and for Jesus. We believe that she could forgive her assassin before her death. So we also could receive the grace of forgiveness.
ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഞാനും അപ്പച്ചനും അമ്മച്ചയും കൂടി അവിടെ ജയിലിൽ ചെന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അമ്മേനെ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഒത്തിരി അങ്ങ് പൊട്ടിക്കളഞ്ഞു. അമ്മ അവൻ്റെ തലയിൽ അമ്മയും അപ്പച്ചനും കൂടി അവൻ്റെ തലയിൽ കൈ വെച്ചിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു, മോനെ നിന്നോട് ഞാൻ ക്ഷമിച്ചു, എൻ്റെ മകളുടെ രക്തമാണ് നിന്റെ കയ്യിലുള്ളത്. അമ്മ വിളിച്ച് ചുംബിച്ചു. എന്നിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു, നിന്നോട് ക്ഷമിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു, ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ മകനായിട്ട് ഞങ്ങളുടെ മകനായിട്ട് നിന്നെ ഞാൻ സ്വീകരിച്ചു.
22nd August 2006 we went to 2002 we went to jail to meet Samudra. Then when we reached, the police presented him before us. Then he was in tears. Father Swami introduced me to him. Then he is asking on pardon me. I did a very grievous mistake. Nobody in the world cannot forgive me. Then I am doing a penance now. Then I said, God has forgiven you. We to forgive you. Be at peace. If the prisoners could forgive themselves and the others from they could get forgiveness from others also, they can reform themselves.
അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ ലോകത്തോട് ഉള്ള ആ ക്ഷമയുടെ സ്നേഹം ഈ ലോകം അറിഞ്ഞതും മാധ്യമങ്ങൾ വഴി ലോകം അറിഞ്ഞതും അങ്ങനെയാണ്.
Samundar Singh, the assassin of Sister Rani Maria, was released on probation from prison after her family filed an affidavit asking for his release. Kanal Kiridam is the story of a reformed prisoner, Matthew Albin. He was a notorious troublemaker and settled many political disputes with violence and even murder. The villagers, fed up with his troublesome behavior, ganged up and had him beaten. He was then sentenced to life imprisonment for his crimes. A religious priest got him to confess all his sins and got him reformed. While in prison, he made a vow that when he was released, he would take care of the homeless people. Now he gets homeless people in his ashram, cuts their hair, bathes them, gives them clothes, and takes care of them. Manikandan was in prison for a murder committed in his youth under the influence of friends. At the time of going to prison, he had 2 daughters, one just 6 months old. Prison Ministry India took care of his family while he was in jail. As he reformed in jail, his daughters got a good education and his family was supported by Prison Ministry India. When he finished his sentence and was released and rehabilitated, he was given a rickshaw to earn his livelihood, support his family, and not go back to the world of crime.
Thank you, Prison Minister India.
Thank you, Prison Ministry India.
A gun cannot change the prisoner, but the nun can change the prisoner.
Prison Ministry owes a lot due to the hard work of many nuns in this ministry. Sister Leena, the Mother Teresa of prisoners in Hyderabad, was one such nun.
I have a great acquaintance with Sister Leena, who is now become dear to God. And she was so dedicated. It always amazed me how one person can motivate so many other people.
Yeah, Sister Leena is a very simple sister in her ways and talks, and she is very caring towards his prisoners, and she was very good with everybody. In the beginning, she was afraid of police, prison, and all, but she got accustomed. Adjusted to this prisoners, the prison department so well that she became a regular visitor to the prisons.
She used to be part of a great rehabilitation effort where no other institution or no other agency I could remember were providing this kind of services. It's only the PMI and Sister Leena who was helping the destitute women and their children with education and with proper accommodation, and then finally rehabilitating them into the society.
Some inmates in the prison, after release, they wanted to, they make some conspiracy among themselves and in their minds that after release they would go back and accomplish the incomplete work, what they have left. But she would tell them, don't repeat, don't do, forgive. This was her advice to them, like suggestion or advice to them. And she would say, Malli ikkada raavadu. Do not come back again to the prison. So, Amma nu cheppinavu kada, mem cheyyam. So, mother, you have told us not to do. So, we'll obey you, we will not do it. So, this is how they used to respond to her. Like,
I remember to have met many prisoners whom Sister Leena had successfully reformed and rehabilitated. I had seen many number of times during her sessions inside where how she used to meet the prisoners and how nicely she used to talk to the prisoners and what is the reaction of the prisoners. And the prisoners always used to wait for her arrival, always look forward to meeting Sister Leena. She had that kind of personality, on one side lovable, on the other side very forceful, and then she should have recognized nationally for her efforts much more than what she recognized. She was recognized for.
Sister Leena was the winner of awards, which includes the Deenabandhu Award and the Best Social Award. She was honored by the government of Telangana and was also felicitated by 2 chief ministers. The nuns in Bengaluru work daily at the Bengaluru Central Jail. They stay in the jail quarters.
I'm Sister Adele. I entered into this ministry in 2004. This is my 16th year of my service in the prison. This quarters was given in a particular occasion by our ex-Inspector General of Police, who who found the sisters coming from very far distance and coming and going with such difficulty, he said, I shall give you a place to stay. Would you like to stay here? So we were very happy and we accepted the offer, and we started staying in these quarters for sisters who are working as volunteers in the prison.
I am dealing just now. He is a quotation fellow. You understood? Quotation. That is, so many people he has murdered. So when he came, then I talked to him for 1 or 2 sessions, and then he was not very cooperative in the beginning. Then finally, I did one therapy with him. In that therapy, he said, "Don't hypnotize me," he said. So then I said, "You know hypnotizing?" Then he said, "Yes, I know hypnotizing." So finally I said, "Whenever I come to the jail, I want to meet you." So finally, now it is still continuing the counseling, but there is a change in him.
I'm Sister Sophia, working in Central Jail Bhopal. We both, and then we have a lot of activities. Like mainly we are doing legal aid, and then we sit in their house, taking care of their children's education, conducting competitions, and then vocational training programs. Mainly we are doing legal aids. I think by this time we have bailed out or released 75 people. In each community we have our income. From that this much percentage kept for social work. From that we are living. Means sometimes many of the time it is for fasting money. Every week we fast, that money we keep for the poor people. From that they are giving me an amount for the release and any need. And children's education. There are children who completed nursing, and then one is doing +2 with his intention to become a doctor. So until now we have not approached any institutions like for any help for the release, because our own sisters, congregation and diocese, they are supporting us very well.
I am from Prison Ministry India.
We are from the Prison Ministry India.
We are from Prison Ministry India.
The first rehabilitation center for released male prisoners was opened at Sneha Ashram in Thrissur, Kerala in 1991.
ജീവിതം നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു പോകുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ സ്നേഹാശ്രമം എന്ന ഇവിടെ എത്തിച്ചേരാനിടയായി. ഇവിടെ വന്ന് ജീവിതം തിരിച്ചു പിടിക്കാനുള്ളൊരു സമയത്തിന് വേണ്ടി ആ സമയം എത്ര വിലപ്പെട്ടതാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു.
ഞാൻ മാത്രം പോകാതെ കൊണ്ട് ഇവിടെ പ്രവർത്തിച്ച് ഇത്ര വർഷങ്ങളായിട്ട് നിന്ന് പോകുന്നു. ഇവിടെ താമസിക്കുന്ന വ്യക്തികളുമായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് യാതൊരു പ്രോബ്ലങ്ങളുമില്ല, പേടിയുമില്ല, ഭയവുമില്ല. ഹൈ ലെവൽ നല്ല കൂളാ, നല്ല സന്തോഷമാണ്.
The following year, 1992, the first rehabilitation center for released female prisoners was opened at Sneha Ashram, Monvilla, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. The recently opened Kolbe Home for Children in Bengaluru takes care of prisoners' children to bring them up in society with a good education and moral values.
To first learn to obey the rules. What do you have to do?
Obey the rules. मेरा नाम है मोहम्मद खलील और मैं 10 साल का हूँ. मैं पहले मेरे मम्मी पापा के साथ था और घर में अच्छे से स्कूल पढ़ा कर रहा था. फिर धीरे हम लोग मलेशिया जा रहे थे. तभी पासपोर्ट प्रॉब्लम हो गया. फिर मेरी मम्मी पापा ने जेल में जेल में डाल दिया. फिर मेरे को मम्मी के साथ था. मेरी मम्मी को जेल में डाल दिया. मेरे को फर्स्ट एक हॉस्टल में लगाया. उसके बाद उधर से CWC हॉस्टल में. उधर भी अच्छा नहीं था. फर्स्ट हॉस्टल में था, उधर भी अच्छा था. सेकंड हॉस्टल में अच्छा नहीं. अभी इधर आके मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत हैप्पी हूँ.
The children, along with education and moral values, also take part in other activities and are given a childhood just as any normal child.
ना देगा नाका नागी ना देगा चिकनी चमेली देखी चिकना कमी ना देखा चांदनी ची डर हो के चीट किया तो सारे तारे बोले गिली गिली अक्खा.
Jivodaya for released women prisoners was opened on 22nd January 1995. Sister Clara and Sister Fidel have spent 25 years of their life shaping the life of many girls and getting them married. Sister Liz Maria is now assisting them. Lakshmi, who has changed her name to Sunita, was abandoned by her mother at a construction site at a very young age. Her family took her to their place and made her work in their house. They gave her education too. As the years went by, they couldn't handle her, and when she was mature, they handed her over to the nuns at Jivodaya. They reformed her, and now she is happily married.
एक शादी किया, ये सिस्टर लोग ही करके दिया था शादी. फिर एक 2 लड़की है मेरे को, एक 12 इयर्स का है, एक 8 इयर्स का है. मैं ब्यूटिशियन काम सीखा, सिस्टर ही लेके जाके पढ़ाने के लिए ट्राई किया, नहीं पढ़ने के लिए मन नहीं था. फिर टेलरिंग के लिए डाला, वो भी ठीक नहीं हो गया. ब्यूटिशियन सीखा, फिर 2 पार्लर रखी हूँ, दोनों पार्लर में काम कर रही हूँ. बच्चा, एक लड़की हाई स्कूल में, एक लड़की 2nd स्टैंडर्ड पढ़ रही है. अच्छा है अभी जिंदगी.
Prison Ministry India has rehabilitated many prisoners and helped many families to cope up with the education and financial conditions when either the breadwinner or both the parents have gone to jail, thus bringing mental peace to the prisoners while they are in prison.
Thank you, Prison Ministry India.
Thank you, Prison Ministry India.
December 2004, Prison Voice, a magazine which is the voice of the prisoners, was launched.
Prison Voice magazine is the voice of the prisoners. And we have around 7,000 volunteers who are involved into this ministry. And in all the states, our activities, our volunteers are present, and wherever the jails are, our volunteers are present, and all their activities are presented in this magazine. And we also do the interviews of the prisoners, and the success stories, the rehabilitation stories of the prisoners are well written down in this Prison Voice magazine, which is circulated around 4,200 copies all over India. We Prison Ministry India volunteers, we have got 4 basic principles. One is prayer as our powerhouse. Without praying, without anointing ourselves in the name of Jesus, we need not enter the prison. And second basic principle of Prison Ministry India is God's providence as our bank balance. Our God, who had begun this ministry through 2 brothers, through seminarians, God who had protected us till now will continue to protect us, because we walk with a God who always provides. And third basic principle is inconvenience is our convenience. We the Prison Ministry India volunteers do not have so many big offices, rather, and if we work in the school, you have the parents and children coming to you. Rather, we Prison Ministry India volunteers, we go in search of the lost ones going to the prisons. And we see in the prisoners the disfigured face of the crucified Christ. So whatever inconvenience that we face in our life, take everything as God's blessing and go forward. And the fourth one is we take begging as our lifestyle. So we beg for the cause of our brethren behind the bars. We never take as a shame, rather we take begging as a blessing, and we do our service for our brethren behind the bars.
We went to Nadyad prison. We had Way of the Cross there, live Way of the Cross. Actually, I wasn't interested in joining prison because I'm very afraid of the cops, very afraid. Then since I was Mother Mary there and act in that Way of the Cross live in the prison, then I saw the pain which they were going to. They were each one were crying bitterly, like they were. Then after we finished our the act, like the Way of the Cross act, we finished after that. I asked them why we were crying, So they were saying, just imagine there are so many people who are not done anything. They are innocent people. They said, we have not done anything. What about this, the Lord, this your God, Jesus? He says, He has not done anything, but still the way He has gone through this pain and then even the prisoners and the other people, the policemen, they say, this much pain your God has gone through, so much. And you see that, these types. So I was, after seeing their tears of these people, I thought, let me join the prison ministry.
मी प्रिझन मिनिस्ट्री इंडिया पुण्याच्या याच्यामधनं आहे. तर तुम्ही एकदा खरंच मला वाटतं तुम्ही एकदा PMIमध्ये येऊन तुम्ही एकदा ट्राय करावं, बघावं की ॲटलिस्ट प्रिझन तुम्हाला जे वाटतं की प्रिझनमध्ये काय असतं, जेलमध्ये लोक काय असतात, पण तुम्ही येऊन स्वतःहून बघाल ना तेव्हा तुम्हाला कळेल की जेलमधले लोक पण एवढे वाईट नसतात. त्यांच्या फॅमिली कंडिशनमुळे किंवा याच्यामुळे त्यांना वाटतं की तुमच्याकडे हे फायनान्शियल प्रॉब्लेममुळे ते जातात तिकडे. पण खरं सांगू तर प्रिझनमध्ये तुम्ही जेव्हा जाल तेव्हा तुम्हाला कळेल की खरं आयुष्य काय असतं.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Rosie Lopez from Pune and I'm very happy to be a member of PMI with my kids and my husband.
We are from Prison Ministry India.
We are from Prison Ministry India.
We are from Prison Ministry India.
Prison Ministry India constantly prays for the prisoners, their families, the jail authorities, and all of India for a reformed society and better country.
But what I personally experience is that if we go after the prayer to the prison, after praying a decade of rosary, or asking the intercession of Mother Mary, or praying after praying in the Eucharist celebration. So all these prayers help us to do this ministry in a better way.
Any volunteer wanted to work in the prison ministry as a volunteer of Prison Ministry India, they had to pray to the Lord, to God, at least for half an hour. Because when we go to the prison, prisoners used to tell us, Father, don't think we don't get anything in the prison. If I can manage to get a mobile, I can manage to call my family, I can get anything here in the prison. But what we want from you people, we want your prayer. That nobody gives us. So we tell them, in order to change them, we need to pray to God, so that when we pray for them, it will be touching their heart and change them. So prayer we say. And we also say, God's providence is our bank balance. That means, it is not you who is going to make the people changed. God is going to make. You pray to God. Depend upon God providence. God will change them.
आज से हम लोग प्रिजन मिनिस्ट्री के जो जेल में सब लोग है उसके लिए प्रेयर करेंगे जरूर. हम जाए कहीं भी नहीं जाए तो चलेगा, मगर प्रेयर करने के बाद हमने देखा कि कितने सारे लोग को छुटकारा मिलने लगा, तो उनको बहुत जास्ती अच्छा लगा.
I will never forget you. I will never forsake you, says the Lord. Lord, these children who are there and the inmates who are there and all the jails, I know that you have not forgotten them. And you are taking care of them in a mighty way, Lord. Lord, we ask you to pour out your spirit and guide the authorities right from the level line to the higher authorities, Lord Jesus, so they may use your wisdom, your knowledge and your love and your compassion upon these inmates, Lord, wherever they may be and for whatever reason they may be, Lord. Lord, hear our prayer.
कहता है दिल मेरा धन्यवाद प्रभु कि तूने कार्य महान मेरे
प्रभु
Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debts to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debts to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high.